Alright, so quadratic formula only works when the highest power is 2, when it's a quadratic equation or function or polynomial, whatever you want to call it. Only works when the highest power is 2. And what is the quadratic formula? It's minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Memorize it, know it backwards and forwards. It really helps when you can't find those two numbers. Now the discriminant, which is b squared minus 4ac, will tell you how many solutions the quadratic has. Right, so it'll tell you how many solutions the quadratic has. This is a listening check. Underline discriminant. Underline discriminant. If the discriminant is greater than 0, it has two real solutions. If it's equal to 0, it has one real solution. And if it's less than 0, it has no real solutions, or really two imaginary solutions. In AP Calculus, we're not really going to go into imaginary, so you'll be okay not even knowing less than 0, but just let you know. Alright, so if you take a look at an example, let's say we had 2x squared plus 9x minus 18. The coefficient with the x squared will be your a. So what's the coefficient with x squared? 2. That will be your a. The coefficient with just the x will be b, don't forget the symbol or the sign. And the coefficient at the end with no x will be c. And all you do after that is literally plug in a, b, c into the quadratic formula. So x equals minus b. What's minus b? So it's minus 9 plus or minus b squared, which is 9 squared, which is 81, minus 4 times a, which is 2, c, which is negative 18, all over 2 times a, which is 2, equals, and go ahead and simplify that. So you're going to get negative 9 plus or minus 81, and then I've got a negative times a negative is going to give me a positive, and then 4 times 2 is 8 times 18, and I'm just going to do it over here on the side. And by the way, you still need to write this down, is 144 all over 2 times 2, which is 4. Go ahead and simplify that some more. So you're going to get negative 9 plus or minus, and then 81 plus 144 is going to give me 225 all over 4, equals, simplify that more, negative 9 plus or minus square root of 225 is 15, divided by 4, and then actually do it. So negative 9 plus 15, that's 6 divided by 4. This is a listening check. Color in the equal sign before the negative 9. Color in the equal sign before the negative 9. And then if you go the other route, negative 9 minus 15, that's more negatives, so negative 24 over 4 is negative 6. So let's go ahead and simplify the 6 over 4. That's going to be 3 over 2. Alright, so those would be your two answers. And to write this in factored form, just write the solution. So you've got x is 3 over 2 is one solution. Get rid of the fraction, so multiply by 2, so 2x equals 3. Then take 3 to the other side, so 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. That will be your factor term, 2x minus 3, because before you put it equal to 0. Same thing with the negative 6, just take it to the other side, and you're basically making it equal to 0. This is a listening check, circle number 2. This is a listening check, circle number 2. Alright, so first thing you need to do is actually arrange it in order, x squared, x, and then the number, so just rewrite this. Equals 0, perfect. And then find out what a is. It's the coefficient with x squared is a, the coefficient with x is b, and the last one is c. So just the number by itself is c. Then plug it into your equation, negative b plus or minus b, the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Negative b, so negative 8 plus or minus b squared, which is 8 squared, which is 64, minus 4 times a, which is negative 3, times c, which is negative 2, all over 2 times a, which is negative 3. Simplify this, negative 8 plus or minus, this is a listening check, color in negative 8, the square root of 64, and then this is going to be a negative, because a negative times a negative times a negative is a negative, then 4 times 3 is 12, times 2 is 24, and then the bottom is going to be negative 6. Simplify that more, that's going to give you 40. And negative 6. And now you can't take the square root of 40, but you can simplify it. Okay, so I'm going to break it down completely. 40 breaks down to 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. And if I see a pair, I can take the pair out. So because it's a square root, I'm looking for a pair. If it was cube root, I'll be looking for 3. So because you see a pair of 2's, you can take the 2 out. So when you take the 2 out, you're going to get negative 8 plus or minus 2. And then what's left inside? 2 times 5, which is 10. Once you have that, you can simplify it because everything is divisible by 2. So go ahead and divide by 2. 2 goes into 8 4 times, 2 into 2 1 time, and 2 into 6 -3 times.
Pause the video and go ahead and copy this down. All right, so we're going to take a look at how you're going to do quadratics with a calculator. You're given a formula sheet right here, and it says, write the formula down with parentheses where the letters are. So where the letters are, I'm going to write parentheses. Okay, so I'm going to write this as x equals minus, and then there's a letter, parentheses, plus minus the square root, and then there's another letter, so parentheses, squared, minus 4, there's a letter, parentheses, there's another letter, parentheses, all over 2, and there's a letter right there, so parentheses. Put boxes around the number next to x squared, the number next to x, and the number by itself, and label it A, B, C. So that's right here. So I'm going to put a box around what's right next to x squared, what's right next to x, don't forget the symbol, and the number by itself. And label it A, B, and C. So this is A, this is B, this is C. Fill A, B, and C in the formula with the parentheses. So basically what I'm doing is I'm putting where I see A for the formula, I put A. Where I see B, I put B. Where I see C, I put C. So again, back to my formula sheet. First letter is B. So what is B? +8. Again, it's B, +8. Again, it's now A. A is 4. And C is 3. Then I have 2 over A, which is 4. Plug in the whole top in the calculator for addition first. Okay. Then press enter. So we're going to take our calculator and we're going to plug in the whole top. So there's a negative, and then there's a parentheses, and then there's an 8, then close the parentheses, and you see it says it's add or subtract. You can't put both in the calculator, that's why it says for addition first, and then we'll come back and do the subtraction. So we're going to do the addition, so plus, then square root. To get the square root, you're going to hit second and then squared. That's going to give you the square root. Then it parentheses, 8, close parentheses, squared, so that's going to be x squared. Minus 4, parentheses, 4, close parentheses, open parentheses, 3, close parentheses. So I've typed in the entire top. So that's what it says, plug in the whole top, then press enter. So I press enter. I get -4. Okay. Arrow up to what you just plugged in for step 4. So it says arrow up. So this is arrow up to what I just plugged in for step 4, right? And press enter. So, and I'm going to press enter. Boom. So I get the same thing again. Arrow to the left and change the positive to negative outside the square root and press enter. So arrow to the left, that means move it like this to the left. Outside the square root, right here, I'm going to change the positive to a minus.
This is a listening check. Color in the boxed 4.
And press enter. Boom. Okay. Plug in the bottom of the formula in the calculator. So the bottom of this formula, plug that into the calculator. So that's 2, open parentheses, 4, close parentheses, enter. Boom. Write down your answer to 4. Okay, so this is going to be equal to my answer to 4, the whole top. Okay, which was this number right here. So -4. And my answer to 5, okay, that's when I pressed this one right here, -12, okay, over my answer to 6. So my answer to 6 for the bottom of the formula, which was 8.
This is a listening check. Color in the 8.
And then it says to simplify. So we're going to simplify this. Now you can just do this in the calculator, it'll simplify it for you. So if I just typed in -4 divided by 8 and press equal, and then press math, enter, enter. It's going to give me the most simplest form, which is -1/2. And this one, -12 divided by 8, and then math, enter, enter. So I'll give me my most simplest form, which is -3/2. Now, they might want it in fractions, they might want it in decimals, you know, just whatever it is that the question is asking. That's how you use a calculator.